And anything that we do that's more performance oriented, it's their deal. It's not mine. So when parents, come up with these rules and effectively enforce them by reasonable consequences, all of those rules and boundaries should be discussed beforehand so that kids ought to know what's expected of them and what will happen if they don't comply to those rules. When we do that, we are transferring responsibility to follow rules to them, not to us. And it is now their deal. And so when they break the rules, you can let the consequences take effect without letting it affect your relationship.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I was going to ask you if we don't have a responsibility as parents to make those consequences clear at the outset, and we do, obviously.
Yeah. And what I do with any family that I end up meeting with and saying, okay, this is what you need to do. Pick 5 things that you want for your family. What 5 things? What are the 5 big rules that you want for your son or daughter that you want them to follow? And if they just follow those things, then everything will be okay. And the second part of this exercise is come up with consequences if they don't do it. Like this. I want you to be respectful of your mom. I want you to be respectful of kids in the family. We want respect in the family. That's just one rule. Now, the violation of that will be to take away something that would get their attention. And that may be taking away a cell phone, taking away a car, getting rid of the car, selling the car. I mean, whatever it is that you don't want your child to do or you want your child to do, have a consequence if they do something or if they don't do something. Now, here's the second part of it. Tell them, if you do these 5 things, I will give you these 5 things. And you've got to make that so enticing that they're willing to say, I will easily follow what you're requiring of me to receive what you will give me if I perform those things. And what that does is allow a child to make all the decisions. It's above everything else, I want to have a happy home. But I also know that the first thing that I want my child to know is that I love you and I care for you and I don't want you to do some things and I want you to do some other things. And so I'm going to have that sense of compassion and say, so here's the things that we want. And not only will I reward you for doing those things, is that when you choose to not do them, then you're choosing your own consequence. So I'm basically giving them responsibility. I'm giving them control of their life. And it's all agreed up front. And it's all about their choice now.
Which is why it doesn't damage the relationship, because everybody knew going in what the rules and consequences were.
That's right. Because when a child gets to the teen years, it's not about you, mom and dad. It's now about them. And so if they violate something that I have laid out for them and said, this is what I don't want you to do, and they do it, it's really them. It doesn't have anything to do with me anymore. Because the tendency is, as a parent, if they don't follow what I want, then I become angry because I'm not getting what I want. When really the purpose of rules is to have a happy home, but it's also to help a child get to where they want to go and keep them from where they don't want to end up. So if they do something wrong, it's on them, not me. So a child, let's say that a child gets in trouble and they're grounded from the car for a month. It doesn't mean I have to be mad at them forever. I can say, now that you're home for a month and you can't go out,